60-Minute Gamer here with an unboxing of the Atari 2600 Plus Pac Man Edition. Oh my gosh, my dog Rocket just snuck into the video. I guess that's pretty fitting since he sneaks down to the video game room most of the time while I'm playing video games. He is my best buddy. We have a two-seat love seat down in the game room, and he has chosen one side, and he likes to rest there while I play video games, or if I'm eating pizza, he will jump up on that middle console and give me the death stare till he gets a slice. Hey, hit that like button. If I get more than 50 likes on this one, I'll get Rocket back in another video. And most of the YouTubers got that big yellow box, that round box with the special edition and 2 joysticks. I am not that big of a YouTuber. I am small potatoes, so I actually had to buy mine, which is okay because I am a huge Atari fan and a huge Pac Man fan at that. And Amazon packaged this thing up really nice. It wasn't moving in the box and nothing came damaged, and the box looked really in pristine condition. I wish I could have said that about my Govee Pac Man Edition Lite. They just slapped the shipping stickers right on the box and mailed it off that way. What the heck, Amazon? Come on. Let's show a little consistency on how we're packing things. And the artwork around this box was pretty cool. It had all the Atari logos on it, and they had the old school Pac-Man logos on it. So I really enjoyed looking at this box, you know, even just sitting there opening this thing up, it was fun. And I got a book called The Art of Atari, and opening that thing up and looking at all the pictures, I just had the same feeling looking at this box. It was great. And this product is for the collector. It's somebody that's already got a bunch of cartridges. It's not somebody that is going to go out and look for starting an Atari 2600 collection. Although you could do that. You could buy games straight off Atari, brand new ones, but they're going to be at a premium cost. Or if you had a retro video game store locally that had some of them, you could certainly go look at them and see if you could find some of your favorite ones in there. Well, this machine is basically going to dump the ROM off the cartridge into the system memory, and it's going to play from there. And it's pretty quick on how it does it. I've got the 2600 Plus and the 7800 Plus, and with the HDMI out, playing on a modern television is just beautiful. It is a great way to play these old retro games and not have to use an old CRT. And to be honest with you, I haven't read any of this literature yet. I just tossed it aside. This book is full of facts, and I should take the time just to sit and read through it, but I've been having fun just playing with the 2600 Plus Pac Man Edition hooked up to my TV right here in the editing room. And I haven't even unhooked it yet. I've been playing it the whole stinking time. And I'm 55 years old now, and I'm still doing the same thing I did when I was 7, years old. I would pull that literature out, toss it aside, and just play the game. There were some neat things in that, in those booklets. You could write down high scores, or you could learn some stuff about the game. And I was just like the kids in A Christmas Story when they got their socks. They looked at them, looked at each other, and threw them over their shoulder and went to the games. And the detail on this packaging was just cool. It had dots all over it and mazes drawn all over it, and the lights in the house would reflect the dots, and it looked pretty cool. And the only thing that's in here is the HDMI cable and the power cable, which I only use the power cable, and I'm going to stick that HDMI cable right back in the box because I've got a gazillion of them already out, ready to go. And like some of the other consoles I picked up from Atari, these were all branded cables. They had Atari written right on each plug-in, and it was pretty cool. The only thing I would, like to have is another power brick. And I know I can plug them into a USB port, but, the more collecting I do, the more stuff I'm picking up. I really need some more power supplies and some more bricks with these. So, Atari, if you hear that, that would be a nice touch just to throw one in. And there is one more box that I need to unbox here, and I'm going to guess that's going to be my cartridge and my joystick. And we're going to grab that box out here right now. There it is. And you can see it's got all the mazes and the dots on them, and the Pac Man Edition, logo right there. And I can remember back in the days when Pac Man came out for the Atari 2600, we were just so excited. We wanted that arcade experience, at home. And what we got was a little disappointing as a kid. and I can see the disappointment that we had, but it wasn't as powerful as the arcade machine, you know, and there was so much limits to the Atari 2600 that, you know, we just made do. And just like the other, you know, cartridge that the 2600 Plus came with, you've got one with dip switches on here, and all you got to do is flip that one down and the one up to get between the classic Atari 2600 game and the new 7800 Pac Man. And originally my thoughts was, this is a whole lot of stinking yellow, man. And the controller and the console itself, man, that's just gonna get dirty. It's gonna get dusty. It's gonna show, you know, all imperfections on it. And I love it. Once I got it sit in front of the TV set here, got it hooked up and started playing it, I don't mind the yellow at all. And I didn't pick up any of the Ghost controllers. I probably should have. But I was thinking, you know, that's just a heck of a lot of money that I already have 2 wireless controllers for the joysticks. I've got one in the classic colors, and I got one that came with this, and that's good enough. I don't need to over-collect or get things that are just going to sit there and collect dust. Although a large majority of my stuff does collect dust. Well, not really. I guess I got them all in totes, and everyone's got a handmade label on them. I think you guys seen videos of the game room, and I got a wall full of this stuff, and the boxes go into a closet, and the consoles will all get stored into these bins so they don't collect dust, they don't get dust in the ports, and everything's well maintained. And the Atari 2600 Plus Pac Man Edition joystick, you know, being wireless is just like the other wireless controller. It, you know, has a little bit of lag, not much latency that you're really going to notice it on a 2600 game, but I had really a good time playing this thing. It was just like a brand new controller back in those days. And who's this console for? This is somebody that grew up with the 2600. You know, somebody that didn't grow up with it, they're not going to have that nostalgic feeling, and they're not going to get the excitement of playing, you know, all these old games like we did back then in those days. We want to re-experience all these games. And I had a young man that watches the channel, so if he sees this, he's going to know I'm talking about him. He had came over, and I hooked up the original Atari 2600 and popped in the original football game. He always comes over every New Year's Eve, and he kicks my butt at Madden. And I thought it'd be just fun to put the football game in that I grew up with. And he looked at it, and he thought it was utterly stupid. There's only 4 players, everything's flickering, nothing's realistic. This is the stupidest game I've ever played. And that was his thoughts on going back and revisiting something from my childhood that I just loved and had a blast playing again. And if I bought this as a gift for somebody, I would certainly want to make sure that a local video game store would have some of these games that they could purchase, or maybe you could purchase to go with them, because they're not that expensive. They're probably $2 to $4 for most of these games. And I hope you guys like this unboxing. I don't do a whole lot of them, but I hope you guys are doing great, and remember, game on.